Hey you and welcome. And before we begin, I would just like to let you know that this video is sponsored by Dashlane. I've been using Dashlane for the past few weeks and it's awesome. Especially if, like me, you have to click that forget your password button a little too often. I have terrible memory. It's a password manager app to end all password manager apps. And if you get the premium version, it can autofill personal info, payment details, contacts, notes, and it has a VPN with country selection for safe, private browsing. Web page blocked in your country? Not anymore, my friend. Details leaked on the spooky dark web? Dashlane will let you know right away. All you need to remember is one master password and you're good to go, synchronized to all your devices. And if any of your accounts get hacked, guess what? You'll be immediately notified and it'll help sort it out and keep your information safe. So dash on over to Dashlane, they're helping support the channel, so please support them. Check out the link in the description, dashlane.com/chapter, and you can also get 10% off the premium version of the product with promo code CHAPTER.
Otis, what happened to Jennifer? What were you doing in Hartford dumping off all that trash?
Hey you and welcome, my name is Mike. And you may or may not be familiar with the excellent book Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn, which is also an excellent movie directed by David Fincher. In this video, we're going to be looking at one of those strange cases where life imitates art. Or so they say. I mean, I didn't pull out the Gone Girl book for no reason, you'll see. This case revolves around the disappearance of Jennifer Dulos, who disappeared in May 2019 in New Canaan, Connecticut. The suspects are her estranged husband and his current girlfriend. And if you can believe it, they're using the Gone Girl defense. As in, she ran away and is framing them for her disappearance. Yeah, this is actually happening. The case is still ongoing, so let's take a look and see where we are to date. Jennifer Dulos, a writer, married Fotis Dulos, the president of a custom home builder company, in 2004. Together, they had 5 children. Over the course of their 13-year marriage, Jennifer alleged that her husband had been controlling, threatening, and a bully, and filed for divorce in 2017, after finding out he was having an affair. She said that she was afraid for her safety as well as the safety of her children. She also said that Fotis Dulos threatened to kidnap their children and that he had also bought a gun. Jennifer said, "I am afraid of my husband. I know that filing for divorce and filing this motion will enrage him. I know he will retaliate by trying to harm me in some way." Off to a bad start here. He of course denied all of this. He said he bought a gun for home security and that he was essentially none of the things she said he was. As of course he would say that. Fotis Dulos stated that his wife called him a psychopath and told the children that he does not care about them. He also claimed that his wife said to the children, "I will make sure this divorce takes 2.5 years, and I can have the mafia break your dad's legs with a baseball bat." Right. In July 2017, Jennifer filed for an emergency order of full custody, but it was denied by a judge. However, Jennifer was later granted full physical custody of the children. A judge ruled that Fotis Dulos had lied to the court and put his children in danger in March 2018. He had pressured his children to lie to support him and his actions constituted emotional abuse. The judge said the court does not find the defendant, meaning Fotis, to be credible. The judge said the children would be in physical danger if Fotis was given unrestricted and unsupervised contact with them, and they would be in immediate and present risk of psychological harm. In an email to Jennifer in December 2017, Fotis wrote, "Our children deserve a mother and a father, not one or the other. If we cannot live together, we can at least get along for their sake and benefit." Jennifer said that her husband threatened to take the children to Greece and disappear. He was originally from Greece. And she was also concerned that he would take the kids away to Argentina, where his girlfriend, and who he'd been having an affair with while married to Jennifer, Michelle Troconis, had connections. So now we get to the day Jennifer vanished. She was last seen on May 24th, 2019 while dropping off her children at school. She was driving her 2017 black Chevrolet Suburban. Her vehicle was later found that same day near Waveney Park in New Canaan. There was no sign of Jennifer or her phone. Continuing to search for her, investigators arrived at her home that evening. That's when they began to believe that Jennifer had suffered a serious physical assault in her garage, where bloodstains and blood splatter were found, along with evidence of attempts to clean the crime scene.
During a search of her home, police discovered multiple stains of blood on the floor, multiple areas of suspected blood spatter, and attempts to clean up the scene. They concluded Dulos was the suspected victim of a serious physical assault. Police focused on their investigation, calling residents of New Canaan to ask for help.
As part of this timeline, we seek video surveillance from homes or businesses that have cameras which capture vehicular activity on roadways.
And prosecutors said they found Fotis Dulos' DNA in the home, in the sink. Police then began searching the wooded area around her home, trying to find, well, I guess, a body. On June 1st, Fotis Dulos and his live-in girlfriend Michelle were arrested and charged with tampering with or fabricating physical evidence and hindering prosecution. This is still ongoing, so more charges likely.
Stacey, Fotis Dulos had no comment when he left court here, but his attorney had plenty to say. Fotis Dulos bombarded with questions as he walked out of a Stanford courthouse, posting a $500,000 bond. Hours earlier, Dulos faced a judge charged in connection with the disappearance of his missing wife, Jennifer.
Surveillance cameras captured a man appearing to be Fotis disposing of garbage bags in bins. A woman in the passenger seat of the man's car fit the appearance of Michelle. Cell phone data indicated Fotis drove back and forth to work that day, then went to Hartford with Michelle, where the pair stopped at 30 locations within a 4-mile stretch. That's a lot of stops. Detectives recovered items from the trash cans and found clothes and household items, like sponges that had blood on them. The blood was tested and determined to be that of Jennifer Dulos. Fotis Dulos and Michelle Troconis pleaded not guilty to charges against them. Both have been released on $500,000 bond. Michelle was even granted permission to leave the state, even as she remains facing charges, though she will be under a sort of house arrest under GPS monitoring. Fotis Dulos' attorney said he can't account for the surveillance footage or the garbage bags, but he insists that his client had nothing to do with whatever happened to Jennifer. He insists Fotis and Michelle didn't kill her and have no idea where she is. You would say that, and when you can't account for the garbage bags and surveillance, you're kind of off to a bad start on the defense there. They say that based on the timeline of the day Jennifer went missing, it seems to be implausible that Fotis could have killed her, his attorney said. The attorney released a statement saying Michelle Troconis knows where Fotis Dulos was when Jennifer went missing, and appealed to the state to drop charges against Michelle so she could testify in his defense, saying Michelle provides Fotis a complete alibi for the morning of Mrs. Dulos' disappearance.
I'm Norm, I'm a lawyer.
Norm, your last name, please?
Pettis.
Thank you.
Well, obviously you heard what we have to say in court, and there is no point in repeating it. We deny the charges. We don't know where Mr. Dulos' ex-wife is. We are resolute and determined to try this case, and we believe fully that our client will be exonerated. I would ask everyone to put aside the easy narrative here that an angry ex-spouse took matters into his own hands to resolve a custody dispute. That didn't happen. Having said that, I don't know what happened. Be patient, stay tuned. We will look forward to seeing you all in court on the next occasion.
Why was his DNA on the faucet? Can you explain that?
No. He was in the house. Do you know where your DNA is?
No.
Why not?
Well, I'm not charged with tampering with evidence or hindering the prosecution.
But you are presumed innocent, and if your DNA turned up somewhere, would it be fair to make you give an explanation for wherever it was? If it was in an old boyfriend's house or your parents' home, would that make you guilty? Shame on you.
Fotis now, of course, wants the charges against Michelle dropped so she can testify and and it'll be his get out of jail free card, essentially. They still haven't explained the surveillance footage and the garbage bags though, so that'll be interesting. Oh yeah, and that's when they began floating the Gone Girl hypothesis. By the way, it should be noted that the defense attorney, Norm Pattis, is the same one representing Alex Jones, so...
And why I got so upset. Thank you, Norm.
Well, thank you, Alex.
Norm Pattis said they were actively contemplating the revenge suicide hypothesis as an explanation for her disappearance. If you're unfamiliar, in Gone Girl, spoiler alert, the character of Amy fakes her own death to frame her husband before disappearing. She later reappears claiming she was kidnapped. The defense attorney said, "We have been provided a very dark 500-plus page novel Jennifer wrote. We don't know what had become of Jennifer, but the Gone Girl hypothesis is very much on our mind," indicating that the book she wrote must have been very similar to the one Gillian Flynn wrote, but yeah, this is quite a defense they're going with. It is a bold move. However, a representative for the missing woman's family and friends said that Jennifer Dulos had penned the book in 2002, before she started dating Fotis, and the novel was in no way similar to Gone Girl, and wasn't even a mystery. The defense must have seen or read Gone Girl recently and it's in the back of their head. The family representative said trying to tie Jennifer's absence to a book she wrote more than 17 years ago makes no sense. This is not fiction or a movie. This is real life. Seems kind of like the defense was really reaching with the Gone Girl hypothesis. They continued, "This is a person who has a pretty florid imagination and motives to use it to hurt Mr. Dulos," said Norm Pattis. He added, without producing any documentation, that Jennifer had a troubled past and struggled with heroin her whole life. He claimed she had had a relationship with a person who would import heroin from Cambodia prior to dating Fotis. The defense attorney also alleged Jennifer once disappeared from New York and lived for years under a false name after an intrafamilial dispute about money. The attorney said Jennifer had severe psychiatric problems, was on antidepressants, and a custody study was prepared to give Fotis unsupervised access to his children. There's a lot of court documents that say the opposite. Did I mention he also represents Alex Jones? From our perspective, this is a perfect storm. A mysterious illness we don't know about, a history of substance abuse, and a history of having disappeared, said Norm Pattis. If she were critically ill, thought she was about ready to lose control of her children, disappearing in such a way that made it look as though her husband were the culprit, is the best piss off you can give somebody. A family source laughed at this argument. The source said Jennifer did not have severe psychiatric issues, and that she read a 500-page manuscript Jennifer wrote in the early 2000s, and it has nothing in common with Gone Girl. Jennifer's novel, like most of her writing, has at its core a search for connection and a loving relationship, for being understood and accepted as one's true self. Jennifer also had no history of substance abuse and would rarely even drink 2 glasses of wine on a night out. The family representative said it's a classic act of desperation to slander the victim. The defense attorney told the judge, "We don't know where Jennifer is. We don't think the state knows where Jennifer is. We think that these bonds and these arrests were an attempt to pit the two of them, Ms. Triconis and Mr. Dulos, against each other in a classic prisoner's dilemma that was designed to give the first person to speak a get-out-of-jail card on charges that are flimsy on the outset."
There is no body that we're aware of, and I'm sick and tired of hearing about it. My client is entitled to the presumption of innocence.
I feel like I need to reiterate there was blood found in Jennifer's house that had been, attempted to clean it up, and Fotis' DNA was also found there. And he was also seen dumping stuff in garbage bags. Just wanted to remind you of that. "We deny the charges," he told reporters. "We are resolute and determined to try this case, and we believe fully that our client will be exonerated. I would ask everyone to put aside the easy narrative here, that an angry ex-spouse took matters into his own hands to resolve a custody dispute. That didn't happen." Didn't it though? The accused will be back in court later this month. That's July 2019, so we'll see what we'll see. The Gone Girl defense seems, outlandish to say the least. Really going for broke there, but it does add a bit of intrigue to this case. And we still don't know what happened to Jennifer. We can hazard a guess, but there's still no body, no clues, just blood. It does seem pretty clear what happened, but it remains to be seen if Jennifer will ever be found. Jennifer Dulos' mother, Gloria Farber, filed a motion for custody of her daughter's 5 children. They are now at an apartment in New York City under armed guard. The document cited Fotis Dulos' arrest and incarceration, and requested that even if he is released, that the kids remain in her custody. So whatever happens, it seems like Fotis, probably a good chance he won't ever get his kids, which could possibly be the motive for this.
Dulos' estranged husband filed paperwork with the courts saying that he wants custody of their 5 children.
The children are currently in care of Jennifer's mother, their grandmother. This all unfolding as investigators ended the search for clues at that Hartford trash plant. Channel 3's Courtney Zeller is joining us live now with more on all this new court activity there today. Courtney?
Although Jennifer has been missing for over a month now, her family maintains hope that she will soon be found. With this case, as it is still ongoing, we'll just have to wait and see. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you would like to see some more of my videos, please click the subscribe button down below and let me know your thoughts on this case when you get a chance and if you want to. Thanks again. I will see you real soon in the next video. Mike out.